beautiful day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, hello and thank you for joining me. I'm your host, Tammy Tubbs, and you know, I'm always on a mission. I have to hear from God who to bring on the Tammy Tubbs Show. And in this season, you have to be about your Father's business. I want to ask this question. Has God told you to do something, but out of fear, you're still waiting, contemplating? Well, my guest on today is walking on the water, walking in faith, and doing exactly what God has called him to do. He's on a mission. And so I want you to join me in welcoming Mr. John Rice to the Tammy Tubbs Show. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my goodness. It's been a long time coming.
Absolutely.
When I say the name, what comes to your mind? B.L. Moorehigh Eagles.
Moorehigh Eagles.
I tell
Jerry
you.
Rice.
Jerry Rice.
That's right.
Any relation?
That'll be cousins.
Cousins. Isn't that amazing? How we were born to soar.
Absolutely.
Well, you graduated Moorehigh.
I left Moorehigh in 10th grade, and I went to Starkville High.
Okay.
And I graduated from Starkville High.
Why the transition?
My mom, I guess, decided she wanted to go into town. So we moved into town in the apartment complex called Open Arms. And I took my talent from B.O. Moore and went to Starkville High.
Because you were a football phenomenon. I remember that because I was much younger than you were. But I remember you being a superstar on the football field.
I was.
Tell us about that.
I was three-year MVP at Starkville High. I graduated from Starkville High, and I actually I signed a football scholarship with Jackson State. And I didn't like where I was, and I came back home because a lot of us, we didn't know about college because we didn't have anybody else to lead from.
Right.
I'm the first person in my family to go to college and the first person to graduate from college. But as I was home, I had a couple of individuals ask me, say, look, you need to go back to school. And they introduced me to a guy named Tom Good. And I ended up going to EMCC, where I turned my life around.
Is that Scuba?
Scuba,
Okay.
Last Chance U.
Okay.
That was my last chance.
Last Chance U, Netflix.
That's right.
I love that, watching that show.
And from there, I went to Eastern Michigan University, and I played football there. And throughout, from that point, I graduated with a undergrad in chemistry.
Awesome.
And now I had the opportunity to see different countries. I've been to 43 states. I've seen I'm 4 national parks. I'm seeing them all. I've been around the world, 6 countries, and I got the opportunities to learn different languages. And now I came back home to take care of my mom, who's no longer here. And I'm back home.
Right.
And I got a job at the Columbus Police Department where I worked as a patrolman. And in 2013, I absolutely had the opportunity of a lifetime is to come home and work for Oktibbeha County Sheriff Department.
Wow. Was that fulfilling, being back home in Oktibbeha County?
It's very fulfilling. It's a dream job. And I got to take care of my own people, where I come from, the people I understand, the people I grew up around.
Yeah. Why now, John? Why now? Because you just explained who you are from the transition from Moore to Starkville High to EMCC, then transferring up to, what was the name of it?
Eastern Michigan University.
Eastern Michigan,
Right.
Then coming back home. Why now? Why do you think God has really positioned you and purposed in your heart to run for sheriff? Why now?
Well, in December, this has been a 2-year exploratory thing I've been working with some other people. December, I decided I wasn't going to do it. I had a change of heart. But around January, God came to me and to say, look, John, you are giving these young men a disservice if you don't run.
Right.
The reason why I'm running people is not because of the job, not because of this, not because of that, all the different things. I am the first to do a lot of things. And I want to be the first to show these kids, the younger generation,
Right.
that they can be something other than a football player, basketball player, or rapper.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they can be a sheriff, they can be a police chief, and these are all the things that they can do. They understand they don't have to
Right.
do that route.
Right. So you're giving them hope and dreams of aspirations of being something more than what they see in their everyday community. Now, serving in law enforcement and having the exposure to different countries and traveling the world, what do you see different coming home with our young people? What do you see from that side that we need to work on? And I can just feel your heart right now because there's so much. But what specifically do you see?
The one thing is that they're not being raised, but the number one thing is they don't have a foundation in God.
Yeah.
They do not have a foundation in God. They don't have someone, the grandma, to take them to church and make them understand that there is the 10 Commandments. There are consequences to your actions. There are consequences. They tell you, thou shalt not steal.
Right.
Thou shalt not kill. And right now, the media, the video game companies are showing they're desensitizing these kids, making them feel like they can absolutely take a life and they can go on about their business with no consequences, no repercussions.
Consequences. Yeah. So if you were elected sheriff, what would you do to change this?
Well, the first thing we have to do, we have to get a hold of our middle school. I don't know how we're going to do this, but the first thing I want to do is I want to reach out to all the community organizations. We want to sit down, have a talk.
Yeah.
And we're going to stop talking and we're going to take on action. We're going to do things. We need something for these kids to do. Octavia County don't have anything for the kids to do.
Recreational, to keep them busy, occupied, stimulating their mind, to allow them to dream again. No, we don't.
Right. They don't have, you know what they say about the idle mind.
Yeah.
But they don't have anything to do right now, and who's winning right now are the gangs. The gangs are winning because we don't have enough men to teach these kids that what they're doing is wrong, not to go out and steal and kill.
Right, right. I see that your motto consists of integrity, professionalism, and trust.
Absolutely. Trust is earned. Many people probably see me in their community. They've seen me stand outside a car. I'm not that officer that will drive by and not wave at you. I'm that guy who gets out of the car and have a conversation with you. And the reason why I do that is because I want people to see me doing something other than locking up their family members and things like that. So I personally want to remove the barrier between the community and the police. There's a barrier between the community and the police right now.
Right.
We have a shooting, and our investigators go out. They don't have a rapport with the people, and they're gonna say, "Well, no, we're not gonna speak to you." And what's happening is right now is that this thing called a discovery. If you're locked up in jail, we have to do our job. Our investigators have to do their job. We have to document everything.
Right.
And the suspect, the inmates, have a right to have our paperwork.
Right.
And in that paperwork is these people's name. You know, the word stitches get stitched. How do it go? Snitches get stitches.
Snitches get stitches. So people don't want to talk.
Well, they will not talk.
Yeah.
They will not talk.
So I want to ask you this. Do you believe that in Octavia County alone, that there's a lot of disrespect or no respect for law enforcement now, or across the board? Because that seemed like to be the thing, that what you see is that I don't know you in my community. Who are you? So I don't respect you, and I'm not going to listen to you. That's
a really good way of saying it. Well, it's not a lack of respect. It's just that Octavia County is actually a really good county.
Yeah.
The people are really, really good.
Right.
But they have a distrust in law enforcement because due to the fact they're going to be good and bad in every agency.
Right.
You know, we don't need a lot of bad to outweigh the good. What we need to do is we need to build a rapport with the community, let them know that, hey, we're here for you.
Right.
And we are. While you're sleeping at night, we're running through your backyard chasing bad guys. But the whole trick to helping out our community is to work on our relationship with each and every citizen out there. And what we need to do is we need to work on through community to community to community, and let people know, hey, look, this is my name. I have a name on my shirt. That's my name. My name's John. If you ever have a problem, you come to me. And the other thing is that from a child, the parents will say, hey, that's a cop right there. They'll lock you up.
Yeah.
So they're taught from little ones up to hate us. And recent news, we had a shooting, and, a lot of our guys were involved. And the gangsters have put basically a hit out on police officers.
Wow.
And me personally, what I plan on doing is this week is to sit down with the leaders of the gangs, and I've actually sent word that I need to speak with them.
Wow.
I'm no longer a deputy, so I'm not in law enforcement, so I'm on the same level as them. I want to meet on their turf, and I just want to hear what they got to say.
Right.
I want to take away the legal mumbo jumbo and say, hey, what is it that you guys, what is it we're doing? There's something about it that we need to know.
Right. Do you believe that it will cause things to change?
Well,
Or is that your prayer?
The prayer is that, but everything starts with a conversation.
Absolutely.
And then once you get a conversation, you have understanding. And of course, these leaders, if they feel like I'm reaching out to them, they may be able to help me in the future.
Right.
Because our youth look up to them.
Right.
Because they don't have role models. And we have an issue right now where, they are going in cars and they're stealing guns. We have a guy who comes into town. He purchases all the guns. He goes to southern Michigan, Hattiesburg, Tuscaloosa, and he makes a trip to Chicago.
Wow.
So we have to work on that.
Right. And that's your goal and mission if you're elected sheriff, to build and bridge that gap between the community, to make sure that there's still trust, that the people understand that we're here for you. We have your best interests at heart. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. What we are is we work for you.
Right.
And that's our job. We to protect and serve the citizens of Octavia County.
Right. I'm so grateful that you came and sat on set with 10 years of law enforcement experience, coming back home. God always has a plan and purpose. He puts you right at the right place at the right time. Those of you that are watching me say, who is this man? I've never seen him before. I want to introduce to some and present to others Mr. John Rice. He's a native of Starkville, of Oktibbeha County. Great man of God, great professor in the professional world, working with young people. I've seen you interact with young men specifically. And when they respect you, they will listen to you. You can't be dogmatic. You have to listen to them more than anything. And I've seen those encounters from a distance. And so from my heart to yours, I just pray God's blessings upon you. But I would like to ask, is there anything that you would like to say to those that are watching of why they should vote for you, or what sets you apart from any other candidate?
What set me apart from any other candidate is the fact that I'm a local hometown boy. I was born in a house, not in a hospital. I've been around the world. I'm a real success story. I've been there. I've made a lot of money in the corporate world, and I'm back. I took a pay cut and came back to my community because I legitimately care about the citizens of Octavia County.
Love it. Love it. Well, again, we say thank you so very much for joining us. Those of you that are watching right now, you can connect with him. I'm telling you, he's visible, Facebook, a very personable guy. And one of those that we say started out as an eagle, but he went to be a yellow jacket. We still love you. We still salute you. Always an eagle. It doesn't matter where you go. And the things about eagles, we fly into the storm. We don't run away from it. So even in the midst of this storm, things that are going on, I do believe that a change is going to come. And the time is now, and now is the time. So again, I say thank you so very much for joining us today. It has been a pleasure. Oh, wow. Well, coming up next is none other than my father, Dr. Willie Earl Thomas Sr. We're talking about men in the community who are making a difference, who have a heart and passion for change. And so I don't want you to turn the dial. I want you to stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Such a beautiful day.
Welcome to Creation Minute. I'm Eric Hovind. In this episode, we want to discuss how big is big. To find that out, let's go to the simulation room. With a diameter of nearly 8,000 miles, the Earth is big. But not that big when you compare it to, say, Jupiter or even the sun. Or when you step outside of our solar system, stars like Arcturus or Antares. And just when you don't think it could get any bigger, it does. Wow. That's the Earth. Kind of puts things in perspective, doesn't it? No wonder God says, "Heaven is my throne and the earth my footstool." To learn more about creation, visit us at creationminute.com.
They are brighter, better educated, led, and equipped than any team in history. They are doctors, lawyers, engineers, technologists, and combat troops, all prepared for whatever comes their way. You'll find them where the lights don't flash, and the only contract they sign is with themselves and their country. One day, they may be asked what they did to make a difference in this world. And they can respond, "I became a soldier."
No, I don't know though. I'm scared. I mean, you're so
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
Hey, hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm Tammy Tubbs, your host, and it is a great day to be alive. We just actually enjoyed John Rice as he shared how God just commissioned him to transition back to Mississippi for such a time as this. And on my right on today is someone that's very dear to me, Dr. Willie Earl Thomas, my father. This is the month of June, so we're saluting great men. And on today, I wanted to just take an opportunity to salute him for who he is and what he's doing in the community of Starkville, not only there for others, but as our family as well. Dad, I'm gonna blow kisses to you. I'm not gonna shake your hand. I just want to say I salute you and thank you, sir, for serving, for being the pillar in the community of who you are and just making those sacrifices day after day and night after night. It was well worth it.
It really were. Many times I would travel to and fro, and when the Bible, Jesus says, "You're never alone. I'll never leave or forsake you." I just hold God to His word.
Yeah.
And many times I was out there early in the morning, late at night, and on my way home, going to work, going this, but it paid off.
Making sacrifices.
Yeah,
and men make sacrifices for their family, don't they?
It does. They really does. And just many times they have obstacles they're facing, and it seems like they want to give up. But you should never give up.
Yeah.
Because quitters never win, and winners never quitters. You go through some things, and if you can just keep your faith and stay strong, because every day is a new day.
Yeah.
To see the sun rise and to see the sun set. But during that day, do something positive, inspire somebody's life.
Yeah.
And not only that, inspire yourself, uplift yourself, because that's a day. If you do something positive, keep a smile on your face.
You have a motto, and I love this because you would always say, I said, "Dad, you doing too much." You're like, "No, I'm just serving the Lord and I'm just doing what God tells me to do." But you have a motto that says, and I love this because I think about this oftentimes, it's not who see you. Is that correct?
It's not who I see.
Who I see, but who see me.
Who see
Explain that.
Jesus said we the light of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're out doing something, where you do good, they're gonna see you. Or if you do bad, you're gonna see you. But when you're out just pumping gas in your vehicle,
Right.
you stop, you're filling up, people see you.
Right.
You in your car, you walking in the store, people see you.
Right.
And I had to go back and put an amendment on that also. Is add to it. It's not who hear me I'm speaking to, is who hear me. Whatever you saying, somebody in your setting hear you.
Right. So whether good or bad.
But it's good or bad. So
Right.
we need to make sure that we're saying some positive there, inspire some, because young people, middle age, and everybody has something going on in their life. They need a word from the Lord. They need encouragement.
Right.
And you may not be talking directly to them, but they hear you.
Right. Right.
I experienced that a lot of times.
Right. Looking back, growing up, what was some of the greatest things that you learned to help you become who you are right now? Because, like I said, you're very involved in NAACP. What are you not involved in? I'll just say that because you're either the vice president of this, being in the military. How many years you served?
39 years, 5 months total service.
39 years, 5 months.
5
we
months.
salute you in the
Thank you,
military.
thank you.
So you grew up serving, but where did that passion come from? Was it something that happened when you were a kid that transpired you to have this love and passion to serve people?
It's amazing. I have good memory. Lord, bring things back to my memory. Even when I was small, I remember my Auntie Lily, and I grew up in two households, should I say, with my grandparents. Then I grew up with my father and mother also.
Yeah.
I would live with them up north in Michigan, and I live in Mississippi also. But I was just like gaining knowledge. And at age 2, I remember my Aunt Lily taking a picture of me in the yard with my 2 brothers and 2 sisters, Mary, Sam, Lawrence, and myself. I was in the middle. And we cherished that picture forever. And my grandfather had a lot of wisdom, and I still remember what he would say to us as young men growing up. And then when I lived with my father, he had something to say. So men's means a lot to a father figure.
Right.
Many times we don't take heed to it till almost too late.
Too late.
But I received that knowledge growing up, and I recall what my grandfather would say to me. Then I recall what my father would say to me, and my grandmother, and not only that, neighbors, people in the neighborhood.
They put deposits, made deposits. They were always, unlike today, what's the difference in how kids are being reared today versus when we were growing up? It was okay for the neighbors to correct us and then I would get a whooping from them, and then by the time I got home, you would give me a spank. Yeah, I did get whoopings, y'all, for talking too much. But what's the difference that you see? Because you have a heart and passion for young people as well.
I do, and I like to. I have a phrase I use and technique I use, and I don't mind sharing it. Most young men, they in some kind of activities.
Yeah.
If you in sports, you're gonna have a baseball hat, something to deal with your team. You inspire shirt, T-shirt, and that's a conversation. I start a conversation with you, and get you to open up. And whether you're young, middle aged, and I feel like if you open up, we're gonna translate some in that conversation, gonna inspire you.
Because they want you to listen. Kids want you to hear them.
They want to express themselves.
Right.
That's true. And youth out there, I share with them, and especially ones in activities out there, encourage them. You know, if they got the athletic ability, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Don't let it just go away. But most of all, get your lesson. Academic is the key, getting that knowledge. But everyone may not get a scholarship and move to the next level. Make sure your academics get that, because you're going to need that in this walk of life.
Right.
Education is the key.
Right.
You got to get that.
And even in today's society, some kids may feel like they're not college level. And I say this because not only you serve in the military, but you had a trade as being a
That's right,
mechanic.
exactly.
So how important is it sometimes to get a trade? You know, go to MCC or get a trade if you know that you are not able to go to college.
I remember growing up in high school. I remember my teacher said that I wanted to be a mechanic. I love to work with my hands. Even today, Mr. Junior Burke, he was a shop teacher in 1969. The first year I came back, and he taught me some things to class there, and I wanted to be that. And I remember I wanted to be a truck driver. I got my commercial license at 18. I wanted to drive trucks, and we was doing a project there.
Yeah.
And ended up the truck drivers had to go off, and they had to come back. You got to go again. I said, no, I don't want to do that. And back then I had a girlfriend. You say going too long, it's trouble.
Oh yeah.
So I said, no, I want to
Love
be a
make
mechanic.
you do some crazy things.
It does. I said, I'm gonna stay at home. So I studied to be a mechanic, and Mr. Burke, he gave me the encouragement there. And once I found out East Mississippi Junior College in Scuba had a school down there for mechanics in 9 months. And I said, I was a football player, had a scholarship down there. And I didn't want to go. I didn't want to play football. So I went down there. One of my classmates, Willie Clyde Ellis, he encouraged me to come down there. So I went down there and got that, and the rest is history. And even today,
you're still using that gift.
And I don't mind helping people. It's not about the money side. Just help someone.
Yeah.
Help someone to give them encouragement words, because if you're a servant of the Lord, be a servant of the Lord.
Right.
And most of all, trust in the Lord, because the way is already made for a believer.
Yeah.
To an unbeliever, the Lord will make a way.
Yeah.
If you acknowledge Him.
What's your favorite scripture?
Proverbs, the 3rd chapter, 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all our heart and lean not to the understanding. And in all our ways acknowledge Him. He'll direct your path.
Wow.
That was my first sermon also.
Wow.
The Lord will direct your path.
How long have you been in ministry?
Truly, I've been in the ministry. I was called in the ministry at age 14. April the 14th, 1968. And I didn't yield till October the 31st, 1969.
Wow.
The Lord came to me again and asked me, was I ready? And I said, Lord, I'm not ready. I'll do it when I'm 39. I'll do it in 93. I'll be 39.
You had a plan.
I did. And Lord,
but something happened.
It did.
Can you share with us what happened?
I will. And from 1988, I was so heavy in the Word. I was just exploring it, and really, the Lord told me in 93 I was going to preach, and I experienced some things as a preacher, not being licensed though, but all of us ministering to the Lord. I experienced that, and the Lord, I remember this Saturday morning, we, myself, you, Emmett, your three brothers, and we went to Birmingham over there to their school. You just want to go to see the university. Went over there. Southern. Sunday morning, we went over, your mother's at home, she went to work. We went over there and come back, the sun was shining. Emmett said, Dad, we're going to stop at the mall in Columbus. I said, okay, we're coming back. And we was coming back, and I saw the clouds was changed, but it didn't dawn on me. The sun was still shining.
Right.
We got in Columbus, and it all happened at once. It just started raining, and this is like the storm came over. And hailing, sleet, and wind, and blowing, and Jay, it was amazing.
Yeah, the van lifted, it was shaking.
Yeah, shaking, and I shared with you all. I thought the windows were gonna break us, and I was sitting in my driver's seat. I cut the engine off, and I was still buckling with my seatbelts, and I just lay alone and started praying. I asked y'all to pray, and I just lay alone, and the Lord took me through the Bible, and then because the Lord knew I didn't want to preach.
Yeah,
I did not really want to preach, and then the Lord He revealed to me and what I had said back in 1969, and once I accepted I would preach and go forward, stopped raining, van sat still, and my last prayer were, because I'm listening at all the debris out there, I said, Lord, let this van be like it were when I parked it, when I didn't see anything wrong with that van at all.
Yeah.
So we got out and went in the mall, and we got out, and I remember your words said, Daddy, I want to go home to my mama. So we came back, and when we got into Starville, sun was shining just like we left.
Right.
And Mississippi State was playing an Auburn football game.
Right.
So God let you go through some things, and even now, I listen to the Spirit as God speak through His Word.
Right. Also,
I read the Word, and most of all, we have to have a testimony that God gonna put you through. And it's just like God know your heart.
Right. He does.
And the Lord said He's gonna do it to me, not to the family.
Right.
So here I am all these years later, 20 plus 6 years later. God is blessing.
Still ministering, serving God's people, and doing what God has called you to do.
I'm eager to do it.
Amen.
Eager to do it.
Well, I'm just happy that you joined us. That's just a nugget of who he is. He's going to come back with his 3 sons, because he prayed for God to give him 3 sons, not a daughter, but 3 sons. So I'm going to end this segment and say, Dad, I salute you. I thank you so very much for joining me on the Tammy Tubbs Show. Notice when he said yes, everything stood still. So I just want to simply encourage your hearts today. Say yes to God's will and watch God transform your life. Well, I love you. God bless you. And I'll see you next time on the Tammy Tubbs Show. Until then, be blessed.